And it says that we are now live.
Oh my God, it's alive.
It's alive! Hey there, guys. How y'all doing? This is your boy tattooedbert coming at you with another live stream. As always, I have my guest here with me. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, how you doing? My name's Joe, aka My Vaping Place. Nice to meet you guys. You can find me here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at G Plus plus Google Plus. Ooh, excuse me, Google Plus as well. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
That was easy for you to say, I tell you, man.
No, actually, it wasn't.
Do you need some Tums? I got some extra over here if you need them.
Nah, thanks. I don't do that. I do Zantac. That works better for me. Zantac 150.
Fair enough. And hey, Dorothy. Hey, Jay. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we are live. Hold on a second. Let me just check the audio.
Wait, we're live?
Yeah, audio's good.
We're live? When did we start going live?
Oh, my God. You mean, oh, dude. Okay, never mind.
Coming to you through the power of the internet.
Hey, Jay, how you doing? Hey, Dottie.
Hey, Dottie, is the audio better this time? I kind of tweaked some things. I'm still getting used to everything on here, and I think I tweaked my volume where you should be able to hear me a lot better this time. Man. Great. I remember my first vape. Your cousin's laughing at you now for the dry hit.
Yeah, I know. She loves it. Her husband, Keith, absolutely loves it when I turn around and I get a dry hit.
Right? And Dorothy says we need to pass you a bucket of water.
Yeah, I got a pop-up chat here.
Oh, okay. Okay, you got pop-up up.
Yeah.
Pop-up video. So, Joe, I have to ask.
Yeah.
How do you like that new juice by Fruit of the Loom there? I believe they call it the cotton t-shirt juice flavor.
Gee, thanks, buddy. Up yours, too.
So what are you vaping on anyway over there besides cotton? Yeah, you're kind of coughing right into the mic too, by the way.
Sorry about that. Oh, gee, thanks, love.
I'll tell you what, Jay, Dorothy, everybody that's watching right now, what are you guys vaping on right now?
Yeah, give me a minute. Thank you.
And I'll tell you for myself, I'm vaping on my stacked Omega Tube mod, my 26650. Easy for me to say. 26650 stacked tube mod here. Vaping on some Rebel Liquids e-juice here. And I also have my Big Daddy box. My Big Daddy mod, as everybody would probably know, my Herculean mod, the quad 26650 mod with the Fat Boy 46mm RDA on it, and that one I'm vaping on some Dinner Lady cornflake flavor, which is actually really, really good. And Dorothy, it actually fits very nicely in my hand.
He's got big muck and paws.
Yeah.
And his paws make a bear's paw look like a frog's.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, for a good comparison, for those of that don't know or haven't really seen me that much, to give you an idea, here's the CD. If I put it right here at the bend of my wrist, that gives you a good idea on the size of my hand. So yeah, I have a very large hand, and I need a large mod to actually feel comfortable in my hand. And I'm not getting any buffering. What are you talking about, Dorothy?
I'm not going to say a word.
And Jay's sitting here with the Rig V3. Nice. How you liking that one, Jay? I'll tell you what, Joe, what are you vaping on? Cotton.
I've got my Aromamize Supreme V2, dual coiled, sitting on top of the A Cigar VT75. I've got Strawberry Submission DIY in there. On this one over here, I've got the Amit 25 sitting on top of a Wisnac RX 200S set at 45 watts. I've got some of my black and blue vanilla bean gelato sitting in there.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, actually it is. It's actually my all day banger juice.
Is it like a vanilla gelato with a blackberry and blueberry swirl or something on it?
Yeah, something like that. Okay. It's actually vanilla bean gelato as the base flavor. Blackberry is the predominant flavor with a little bit of blueberry in the bottom of it, just to turn around and kind of act as a bridge between the two of them. The blueberry kind of rounds out the blackberry just a touch.
Oh, nice. So you have a good layer of different flavors. Like you have a high note, a mid note, then a good base note kind of flavor.
Exactly. That's exactly how I do my. That's how I do my juices.
Oh, nice.
Layering. You layer the flavors like you would layer
a cake.
The flavors. Well, yeah, like a cake. You would layer the flavorings and seasonings in cooking.
Yeah. I can't stand. I have juice companies send me juices sometimes, and they say that it's like what was one of them? One juice they sent me was supposed to be like a Captain Crunch cereal and milk. You could taste the Captain Crunch just fine. You couldn't taste any of the milk whatsoever in it.
Well, milk is a very hard flavor to get.
Yeah. But I mean, like I've had companies send me juices that. Damn it! Shh. Hey. Okay, Joe. I talk, you talk. I talk, you talk. You can't talk at the same time. It's a three-peat, I know. But no, I've had places that send me juices that were supposed to have different levels, different flavors in them, but you couldn't distinguish any other flavors. There's one primary flavor that just took control of everything, and that's all you tasted.
Yeah.
So, for example, a mixed berry kind of flavor that had blueberry, strawberry, and blackberry in it. The only thing you could taste in it was blackberry.
Well, blackberry is a very, very strong in-your-face flavor. You have to take that one on the light side. You have to turn, unless you want that in the first place.
Right.
You have to turn around. You have to go with kind of toning down the blackberry. Blueberry is a furtive flavor. So is strawberry. Strawberry more so than blueberry.
Right.
So you would have to put a higher percentage of your strawberry in there, and then kind of tone down the blackberry. So basically, when you're doing something like that, the listing of the flavors on there would actually be inverse when you're actually mixing it in percentages.
Right.
And then you have to be very, very careful about what you're putting in there for your base. Milk is a very hard flavor to get right. It's either not there,
or it's too much there.
Yeah, it's way too much there, and it starts tasting like bleh.
Yeah, that's so. I've done a little bit. I've done a little bit of DIY thanks to a good friend of mine, Donnie B Vaping, who's coming out with a DIY kit, actually. He sent me a test, like a beta tester kit to try out and give him feedback on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, he has his juice concentrates, his mixes down, straight up. I mean, he's...
Oh, yeah, Donnie is an excellent mixer. He is an excellent mixer.
He sent me one that's a French toast. And you do get that flavor of the French toast, the custard bread, along with the syrup. Mm-hmm. And he put a little bit of something in there that's kind of spicy, a little bit of spice. So a little bit of, like, a little heat. Well, kind of like if you've ever eaten a spicy sausage, that's kind of what it tasted like, the spice from that, which enhanced the sweetness of the syrup and the French toast. It was an awesome vape. You know, I mean, I think, a little bit left of it. But he sent me some straight nicotine. So I mixed up some of my own juice, which ended up being a peanut butter custard. Peanut butter custard.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I wasn't planning on making a peanut butter custard, but I accidentally grabbed the custard flavoring.
Oopsie.
And accidentally threw it in there. But it came out phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah, you know, I've turned around some of the best juices that I've ever had and I've ever come up with have been absolute total freaks.
Huh.
In that either A, I was not planning them and I had no idea what the hell was going to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
B, I've transposed or screwed up on the recipe and grabbed the wrong thing and then suddenly realized after I had put it in there, I went, oh shit, this is the wrong thing.
I meant to grab custard and I grabbed cheesecake.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that happen to me more than once.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But when I'm turning around, I'm doing something that I want to do, like a cream flavor. What I'll usually do is I'll use TFA sweet cream.
Uh-huh.
And I'll use like if I'm going to be doing, like, we'll say an overall of, we'll say 8% cream in the thing.
Yeah.
I'm just giving just like off my head type of numbers here. So
right.
But if I was doing like an 8% cream in there, what I would do is I would take like 5% of that and use TFA sweet cream. And then I would put in like maybe 1.5 or 2% of the condensed milk flavor.
Right.
Because the sweet cream by itself, while it has that nice sweetness to it, it doesn't have enough sweetness for me, and it's still a little furtive. The condensed milk flavor, when you add it in there, it gives it that mouth feel. You know, that
creaminess.
Feeling, exactly. Plus, it also has a little bit of sweetness in there that helps to enhance the sweet cream.
Right.
And the sweet cream kind of cuts that thickness that the condensed milk has. So the two of them work nice together.
Oh, nice.
But depend upon the ratio that you use it in, will give you the flavoring. And then you would turn around, you would then take that cream and then kind of vary it.
Yeah. Dorothy here says, oh my God, I did that. Thought I was putting root beer in the mix and turned out that it was a custard flavor. So she ended up with a 60 ml bottle of custard. Yes.
Now break out the strawberry ripe or the strawberry sweet and put it in there, and then
better yet,
have yourself something nice.
Better yet, why not take that 60 ml bottle of custard, make a 30 ml bottle with put your ratio of root beer in there and fill it up with that custard flavor. Make like a root beer float.
There you go. See, she put strawberry in after it was done.
Yeah. I would have put some root beer in there and made a root beer float flavor, but that's just me personally.
But then you need some of the fizzy in there. Just turn around and give it that fizziness. Otherwise, it's going to taste like a flat strawberry float.
Yeah. Dorothy says that's what she was making. I guess she was trying to make the root beer float flavor.
Hmm. But you also have to remember something. If you're doing something like an iced drink, like a strawberry float, which would have a normal cool flavor to it. Yes, I do remember that. You have to add in a little touch of culotta in there, like maybe to a 30 ml bottle, you would have to add in like maybe 3, 4 drops of culotta in there. So you get that chilling effect in your mouth when you turn around and when you're doing it. Otherwise, it's not going to taste right. It's going to taste like the warmth of the warm flavor of it is not going to taste right. So you have to take into account all of those kind of little things when you're doing a juice to give it that overall effect. If you like, you want to get a real clear float.
Right. You know what? There's one thing that I have kind of noticed a lot in groups in different places, like my vaping place, or not my vaping place. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Vape Shack and Vape Shack
Right.
at vapeshack.org, with a lot of the guys in there that go in there and get into the Zoom channels and talk and chat with each other.
Mhm.
There is a little phenomenon going on that has taken root in Vape Shack called the vape vomit. Have you heard about that?
No, and I don't think I want to.
No, it's when you get these vape models taking pictures, and they take a picture like this.
Hold on, let me bring up the live stream so I can see the.
Basically, they just go like this. And take a picture of them just kind of slowly blowing out vape, and it looks like they're vomiting vape. Hence, vape vomit. But it's a big thing nowadays. Jay probably knows. Jay's probably seen it. If you know Gizzard Stew at all, if anybody knows who Gizzard Stew is.
I know Gizzard, yeah.
Okay.
Gizzard's a good guy.
He is a very good guy. Awesome dude. A good friend. He did a video called the Vape Vomit video. I would suggest to go watch it when you can. And it explains everything. But what is your all's opinion on the phenomenon of quote unquote vape vomit? Of all these vape models sitting here taking pictures of them blowing vape straight down. Yeah. If you're going to sit there and be a vape model and take vape pictures, blow a good cloud. Blow a nice cloud. You know, take a picture of you blowing a cloud out, even if you're blowing it off to the side.
Yeah, really.
But again, that's just my opinion, and who am I but one asshole on YouTube sitting here with a damn nice beard and sexy beard and facial piercings.
That every time I look at it, I expect to see something pop out and go, eek, eek.
Well, I evicted the birds.
I didn't say tweet, tweet. I said eek, eek.
Well, again, I say I evicted the birds.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Hey, there's one still there.
You are a sick puppy, brother.
Yeah, so what? You know you like it. Dorothy messaged me the other day, and she told me that I do a good job keeping you under control, mister.
Really? Dottie, we're going to have to talk later on.
It's my lie, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my lie, and I'm sticking to it. It shows his vape through his nose. Oh yeah. For me, it's even worse when I exhale through my nose and it gets all caught up in my mustache.
Yeah.
And Dottie, if you didn't hear what I said, then it doesn't need to be repeated.
Dottie, you haven't been innocent since I don't remember when.
Excuse me. Oh man, sorry, I had to take a sip of my beverage. Nice ice cold Mountain Dew. He already repeated.
Mental note to self: don't put the strawberry submission DIY in the Supreme.
Why is that?
The Supreme brings out the sweetener too much in there, and it doesn't taste right.
Gotcha. And I'll tell you what, guys, I will go ahead and take a little bit of a commercial break and do the typical YouTube thing right now. Seeing here we're about 20 minutes into the live stream. So my typical YouTube standing is, all right, guys, thank you all for showing up and watching, especially if you're watching this in the repeat. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe and click on that little bell notification so you get notifications up every time that I start streaming or post a video up. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out with us. There we go. Typical YouTube banter over. All right, back to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I can see with that aromizer though is it doesn't put out that. It's not really a cloud device, is it?
This isn't the aromizer I have here. This is the Cedo, the mesh thing.
Oh, okay.
This is the aromizer that I have here, and if I bump this up, I usually keep it. Oh, got it locked at 45.
Yeah.
But if I bring this up to about 50, 55.
Right.
Yeah, 50.9.
Yeah, that's more flavor than it is clouds.
Yeah. Well, I'm a flavor junkie, so I like to turn. I like a good cloud, but I want the flavor.
Oh yeah.
Okay. If it hasn't got the flavor, forget it. Now this Amit 25 that I just put up a video on last night, as a matter of fact, this thing will give you clouds and flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I want to say something here real quick that Dorothy just kind of reminded me of. Kind of going back to the YouTube thing. Man, hey Dorothy, I'll tell you, watching Joe right now reminds me of the first time I ever started vaping.
Why the hell am I getting
dry hits?
Dry hits off this thing.
Excuse me. Could be the juice you're using is a little too thick.
No, it's the same juice I've been using in here for a while.
Dorothy's funny. She really likes it when you take a dry hit.
We've got to talk. There.
Wait, what the fuck is twalk?
Talk.
What the fuck is that? You mean talk?
Yes. Rented lips. Why am I getting the freaking dry hit off this sucker?
Well, Dorothy brings up a good probability. Maybe too much cotton.
No.
No, it's Dorothy. It can't be too much cotton. He's already vaped half of it off.
No, this is the same wicking and everything else I had in here earlier.
Yeah.
It was working fine.
Now, now you were talking about having a good cloud and good flavor.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. The Omega stack tube mod with the Omega hybrid RDA on it. Okay.
Yeah.
I get really good flavor on this, but I also do. It also does this. Also has really good cloud production on it. So it's kind of one of those both for clouds and for flavor.
Well, hey, whatever works for you is what works for you.
Exactly. Don't. That's actually another. That's another tip that I give a lot of new vapors. Don't let anybody tell you that you need something If you find something that works for you, stick with that. Stick with what works for you. I mean, you don't have to sit there and go out and get a quad 26650 box mod. No. This is not for everybody. As a matter of fact, I would not recommend a new vapor to get one of these. I would advise only advanced vapors that know what they're doing, know Ohm's law, knows battery safety to use this.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If you're turning around, if you're working with any kind of a mech mod, whether it's got
MOSFET?
Brain fart. No, whether it's a hybrid or if it has a 510 connector pin in there, irregardless, any kind of a mech mod, you have to know your Ohm's law, you have to know it inside out, and you have to know exactly how you're working it, because if you don't, you're in deep, deep, deep shit.
Right. And also, guys, if there's anybody that's watching this that is new to vaping and has questions, never be afraid to ask. You know, if you don't understand something, ask somebody. You know,
if anybody who has a problem who's watching this who's not sure, you can turn around. You could send it. I'm going to put in my email address here for the channel. You can always send me questions if you've got them. Bert, I'm sure Bert will do the same thing. Let me see now.
If you ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, I'm not going to give you bad information. I will divert you to, revert you to somebody that I know that does know the answer better than I do, because I will never do anything to put somebody in jeopardy vaping wise. You know, I'm not going to make anything dangerous for anybody.
And that's my email address. So anybody who wants to, they can always just send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to turn around and answer them either through an email, or if they want, I'll turn around and I'll get the email and I'll save it up, and we can do something here on on the show.
I'll tell you what, too. Another way to do it. If you're watching this on the replay, you're probably not going to see the chat. You're probably not going to see his email that he put up in the live chat.
True.
But that's okay. If you actually go to his YouTube channel at My Vaping Place and click on the little icon, go under what is it?
About. Go to the About tab at the top.
Yeah, there you go.
Click on that, and then there's my email address shows there. You can just click on that and send me a message, and I'll turn around. I'll get that email message.
Or you can just send them a message on YouTube itself through that About tab as well.
Exactly. And let me put it up here on the audio. It's MyVapingPlace, all one thing put together. I capitalized my and vaping in place to make it a little easier to read, at gmail.com.
There you go. So, and another great place if you have questions or just want to hang out, you could always go to vapeshack.org and make a free profile on there. And if you have Zoom, they do have a Zoom room, which is kind of like...
It's kind of like Skype or VC that turns around. It's a video chatting thing.
I was going to say it's more like a Google Hangout, kind of like a Google Hangouts kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where everybody goes in and you can chat with other reviewers. I'm in there a lot of the times. There's a lot of other reviewers like Rochelle
from Vape With Me.
Vape With Me.
That's her channel.
Nikki B is in there as well, and there's several other reviewers that come in there that their names kind of escape my brain right now.
Donnie's in there a lot of times.
Yeah.
Gizzard Stew goes in there. Yeti's in there.
Tommy's
uncle.
Tommy Vapes goes in there sometimes.
You also have even DJ LSB vape shows up in there a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know, so he's in there and he turns around and, well, you know, he's like, him and Phil are like running neck and neck on the tech side. So
right. But I would highly encourage, you know, I would highly encourage people to go and make a thing in there, and it's, like I said, easy. It's just vapeshack.org. And
Yep.
if you can come in and hang out and talk with a lot of people and ask questions, and there's always going to be somebody in there that is willing to help you out if, you know, give you the right answers.
And like Dottie said in the chat just now, the only dumb question is the one not asked.
Correct.
Which is absolutely true.
That is very, very, very true. Yeah. I have one guy. Okay, let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
What is, in recent memory for you, the best question, or the one question that sticks out in your mind that somebody new to vaping has asked you? Advice-wise, or battery safety-wise, or anything?
Well, I usually stick pretty much to myself, so I get very few people coming around asking me questions. Most of the people that are on my channel are people who are already vapors and who already know their stuff.
Right.
But I have had a few people who were new to vaping, and one of the questions that they always keep asking me is, what would be the best kind of kit for me?
Right.
Another one is, how do you know which battery and stuff like that to use in your mod? Let me see. What's in this juice stuff? You know, stuff like that. You know, the real basic stuff that, well, that, you know, a lot of times we who've been doing this for a while
take for granted.
Take for granted, yeah. And it's just sit there and you go. Somebody asked the question. There was one time somebody just came out and asked me, you know, what kind of kit would be good for me, and I just went blink, 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 and I'm like, Then you got to sit there and start asking them questions.
Yeah. How much do you smoke? No.
Yeah. How much do you smoke? What type of cigarettes do you smoke? How often do you smoke?
Right. Usually,
you know, then.
What would you tell somebody that asked you that question? Let's say I'm a brand new vapor. I walk up to you. I'm like, hey, you know, I've heard about this vaping thing. I'm thinking about starting vaping, but I don't know what kind of starter kit or, you know, to use. I smoke 2 packs a day. Now, what would you recommend?
Do you chain smoke?
Well, I smoke a lot more like when I'm driving somewhere. I will kind of chain smoke, but yeah, I'm averaging about 2 packs a day roughly.
Okay. Either an Innikin T18 Endura or a T22, okay. Whichever form factor would feel most comfortable for you.
Okay.
And I would go with I would start with like a small bottle of 18 milligram juice. Try that and see if that works for you. If that's a little too much for you, then I would turn around. I would go down to like a 12 milligram.
Okay.
I would go with like a 70-30 juice. 70% VG, 30% PG.
Okay.
It'll give you that throat feel, but it won't be so much as to turn around and want to rip your throat out. feel like it's ripping your throat out, I should say. And try that and see how it works for you. And because the T18 and the T22 are really nice. Now, if somebody is like, they don't want anything so big, you know, that kind of thing,
Excuse me.
then you've got your Von Earls, your that type of thing, the little starter kit. But I would always suggest them to get one that they can refill, as opposed to, like, we'll say a oh, what the heck is that one that Gwen Golightly likes so much?
Jewel?
Brain fart. Yeah, the Jewel.
Actually, you can refill the Jewel.
You can refill the Jewel, but it is for somebody who is new to vaping and who might not be very dexterous for whatever reason.
Right.
Either they might have arthritis, or they just might not know one end of a screwdriver from the other.
Right.
You know, doing something that is, you know, that requires dexterity with, you know, tweezers or stuff like that, is going to turn around, is going to be a real put off. Well, but if you get something like, we'll say a Von Earl, where it's designed to turn around and be opened up and refilled, and the parts are not little tiny things that you have to sit there with the jeweler's tweezers and play around with.
Yeah.
Then you can turn around. Then it's a little bit easier for them to work with. And for them to turn around to get the kind of juices and stuff like that they would like.
Now, don't quote me on this, but I think it's the Jewel V2. They've actually made it a lot easier to refill. I think I'm not 100% sure, because I don't use the Jewels, but I do recommend them for newer vapors, because they're a good mouth-to-lung little device.
Yeah, I do too. And you know, but the thing is the reason why I suggest like a T22 or a T18 is because it gives them room to expand as they get on.
Right.
See, the thing with these closed systems is they're great. They're really great as a first kit, but people outgrow them very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that, well, being a cheap son of a bitch, okay, one of the things, the reasons why I admit it.
Donnie,
I admit it.
Dorothy, Dottie, he finally admitted it. He finally admitted it, Dottie.
Oh, well, come on. She knows that. God sakes. I turned around and one of the reasons, hold on a second. Let me just reach over here. This was the first one. This was my first kit.
Yep.
Okay.
I started off with one of those as well.
Yeah. The reason why I got this was because I could turn around, I could replace the top part, and I could put in different types of things. This one I thought was replaceable, where I could turn around, I could go in there and change the coils and everything. This one wasn't.
Right.
But I soon found out what ones I needed to get, which was able to work with this, and I was able to turn around and be able to change coils and everything else in there, because that thing cost me $40.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Yes, she did.
No,
actually, I give her full credit. Yes, she's the one who got me started, because we were sitting in a Skype chat one day, and she turned around. She broke out her little VV3 with what was it?
How am I supposed to know? I wasn't there.
Oh, screw off. It was a where is it? Oh, that's not it. Oh shit, I don't have it over here. Pro Tank 2 Mini. Pro Tank 2 Mini. Okay. And she had that on there, and I was like, "What the hell is that you're smoking?"
Right.
And then she proceeded to tell me about it. And we sat there for about 45 minutes talking. And after we got off of the conversation, I decided to do a little lookup and everything else. And I started doing a little bit of research. That took about a month or so before I was feeling comfortable enough with having a little bit of knowledge about it.
Right.
And then I went down to this, it was a combination hookah bar, a hookah shop, water pipe shop, head shop type of deal.
Yeah.
Down on Route 22 here in Jersey, and down in Union. And that's where I picked this up.
There you go.
And 2 days later, that was all I was using.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
I actually started off with one of those as well. One of those vape pens, but the Ego vape pen. And I used that for a couple months. And then I upgraded from the Ego pen. A buddy of mine had a, what was it? It was a little tube mod. Victory or something. Yeah.
That was my second mod. And the reason why I got this was because those atomizers would fit on here.
Right.
It had the external 510 type.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but my second thing that I ever had, my first tube mod, was like a Victory or something. I think it was a Victory. I can't remember. It was either Victory or Valkyrie was the name of the tube mod.
I think it was a Valkyrie.
It might have been a Valkyrie. This was a while ago now, but
that sounds familiar to me.
Okay, then we'll go with that. It was a single battery tube mod. The RDA was press fit on, so you couldn't take it off, but you could build your own coils. That's where I first originally started to learn how to build coils.
Mm-hmm.
And originally I started building coils, get this, using those little blue screwdrivers that come with every RDA. That's what I used to build coils with. So I was building little nano coils. Well, trying to wrap a 20 gauge wire around one of those little screwdrivers is a real pain in the butt.
With your big muck and paws, yeah. I could see that. That must have been a real pain in the ass.
Oh, God. But that's how I originally learned how to start building coils. Then, the first box mod I ever got was a Dimitri box mod.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I still have it. I need to get some things fixed, but I still actually have that box mod.
This was my third mod.
Yep. But,
SVD2.
There you go.
And you want to know the reason why I got that?
It was cheap?
No, it wasn't particularly cheap. This thing would get so fucking hot.
Oh, yeah.
That it wasn't even funny. Plus, I would turn around, I would vape through this thing in about maybe an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm sitting there, because this thing doesn't have pass-through. I would be sitting here, and this thing would be getting so hot, it's not even funny. I would have to put it down and let it charge up. And that drove me nuts. That's why I got the SVD2, because the SVD2 would take an 18650.
Right.
And I could turn around and I could swap them in and out. And I got the charger, and I got 2 purple E-Fests that I got on eBay.
Right.
That actually were damn good batteries. It must have been the batch that I got, but
Maybe.
Those things worked great. And then I would just turn around, I would just swap out the batteries. And because this was the first Evolve DNA type kit.
Yeah.
Because this SVD2 was an Anakin product, but they had a deal between them and Evolve for the board that was in here. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I love this thing. I'll never get rid of this thing.
Actually, I'd have to say the number one question that I usually get from newer vapors, especially on battery safety.
Mm-hmm.
They ask me, when should I replace my batteries? And I always tell them, look at your batteries. If the wraps on the batteries are chewed up, have scuffs in them, peeling off a little bit, it's time to change battery wraps. There's nothing worse than
changing your battery wraps, but not necessarily changing out your battery.
Exactly. There's nothing, we've all heard the news where a guy with a vape mod explodes in his pants. Okay. 99.99% of those cases of vape mods exploding is because the guy was stupid, didn't know battery safety, and his battery wrap was torn up and arcing out and causing it to vent.
Exactly. And here's a perfect example of it. This is a Sony VTC 5.
Mm-hmm.
Sony VTC 5. Looks great, doesn't it?
Except for the ends.
Looks like no, that end's fine. It's this end.
Yep.
And you see right there, that little tiny bit there at like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that little tiny bit of silver showing through there.
Yep.
That puts this up as a candidate for a rewrap.
Exactly.
And this is one of the ones that I have to rewrap. You get a nick on that end, the positive end of your battery, right there where that thing is. If you don't rewrap this thing is a hand grenade with the pin pulled, sitting in your pocket.
Exactly.
Okay?
Because anywhere you can get arc.
The way the batteries are designed is that's the positive. This entire outer shell is the negative side. And that crimp right there goes over and is separated from the positive side of the battery by a very, very thin piece of paper.
Yep.
And if that thing shorts out for some reason, for whatever reason, that thing is going to overheat. It's going to go into thermal runaway, and it's going to explode in your pocket, and it's going to ruin your fucking day and probably your year afterwards.
Exactly. But, there's, on the flip side, if you have a device, and the battery does start to go on you, start to vent on you, if you're quick enough and you understand what's going on, because before it even gets to the point of going boom, it's going to heat up and start to what's called venting. Start pushing out hot gas and liquefying the insides of the battery itself, and it'll start hissing and get very hot.
Even before it starts hissing and starts venting.
Yeah.
If you're holding your mod like this and you're vaping on it and you're feeling that thing is starting to get hot, and I don't mean just warm, but hot to the point where you feel like you're going to burn your hand.
Yeah.
Take the bottom off, flick it like this to get the battery out, and let it sit there.
Exactly.
That will automatically cause it to cool down because you're no longer making an electrical connection.
You're no longer putting it under load.
Exactly. It's going to just sit there and it will cool down.
Yeah.
At which point, once it's cooled down, you grab yourself some Scotch tape, or as they call it over on the other side of the pond, cello tape. Wrap it around the battery 2 or 3 times. Find yourself a place like Home Depot, your local Walmart, and Aldi's or something like that has a battery recycling place, or if none of those are in your area and they don't have that, your local municipality will have a recycling center. You take it down there, put it in there, and get rid of it, because once that thing starts getting that hot that it feels like you're going to burn yourself, that battery is toast.
That battery is no longer good.
Exactly. And if you even think about using it, then before you do, make sure your insurance is paid up, your health insurance, because you're going to frickin' need it.
And if anybody, and I mean anybody, tells you that you can use a battery that does not have a wrap on it and you'll be just fine,
slug them.
Slug them. Just punch them in the face. They don't know what they're talking about. Really. They are putting you in danger. I know of at least one person who I'm not going to name that was given that advice of, hey, my battery wrap tore. Somebody told him, oh, well, it'll be okay to use in a cuboid. And
what?
Yes.
Are you fucking for real?
I'm dead serious. I'm not going to name any names, but he was.
Oh, that asshole definitely decide it needs to get a. If you're afraid to turn around and ruin your paws, or you don't think you can turn around and slug this guy, grab a bottle and break it over his head.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on. Calm down. He was told that it would be perfectly fine. He put the batteries in, tried vaping. Vape okay for first couple times. All of a sudden, hey, batteries vented, ruined his device completely. So if somebody tells you that it would be fine to vape without battery wraps on it, don't do it.
Seriously.
You need battery wraps. Now, I have pulled some jokes before at my local vape shop. Told them that I needed to get some batteries rewrapped. And I'm sitting there vaping on, as a matter of fact, it was on this box right here, using this box.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there vaping. Yeah, I think I need to get these batteries rewrapped. Like, okay, we'll take them out and we'll rewrap them. Well, I took them out. I handed them to him. The guy looks at me and goes, you're vaping these without wraps? Like, I was just, joking around with him. I'm like, yeah, what? Is there a problem with that? Shit, do I really need wraps on them? But of course, the batteries actually did have wraps on them, but they were clear. They were clear wraps. But I was messing with him because I tried telling him they had clear wraps, and he didn't listen to me. I'm like, okay, fine. It's like, wait a minute, you're vaping these without wraps? Yeah, what? Is there a problem with that? Do I really need wraps? They finally noticed, like, oh, wait a minute, these got clear wraps. I'm like, yeah, I know. I told you that when I first handed them to you. It was funny. I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely best advice I give you, check the wraps on your batteries. If they have any kinds of nicks in them or they start peeling in any kind of way, stop using those batteries immediately and get them rewrapped. Usually, I don't know about where you're at. If you're watching this video, I don't know where you're at, but I know down here at my local vape shops, it's like 50 cents a battery to rewrap. It's easy, it's cheap, it's cool.
Okay. See this package here?
Yep.
This package, when I got it, had 10 wraps in it. I've used a couple out of it. This package of 10 wraps cost me exactly $1.
Yep.
Okay? I went out and I got a whole mess of different colors because, well, I have certain battery sets that I turn around I have here. So I use colors for that particular set.
Yep.
And if I have a set of 2 or a set of 3 that one of the batteries in there needs to be that are married and need to be rewrapped, all in that set get rewrapped. Okay? All 3 of those batteries get rewrapped, and they get rewrapped with that same color. So I can immediately see that is the particular set. Like, for example, I have 3 here. Now, these are Sony VTC4s, okay? It's a set of 3, and I have them all 3 of them in the same color.
Yep.
They're all labeled which set they are. And when one of them went bad, one of the wraps on there, all 3 of them got rewrapped immediately.
Yep.
This way, not only do I maintain the married set, but I've also now sure that all 3 of those wraps in there are good. And that's one of the other reasons why, even though you may have a mod that allows for recharging inside of the mod itself, you should take your batteries out. While you don't need to take them out all the time, because the mod will allow you to recharge them, but at least once a week, take them out and examine your batteries to make sure that the wraps are fine, because there have been some batteries, some mods out there. Perfect example, this Arctic Dolphin. Nice little mod. It chews up batteries like battery wraps like freaking crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
This Steam Crave Squonker. This is a single battery wrap. A single battery in here. This thing chews up batteries wraps like crazy. So even though the wrap, the battery may be perfectly wrapped when you put it in there, just the problem of inserting it into the mod could damage it. And if you just leave it in there and you don't take it out to look at it, then you'll never know that that battery's wrap has been damaged when you put it in.
Sometimes the little positive connection in the mod itself will be so tight that it will tear the top. It'll nick it.
That's the Steam Crave. That thing it's a great little mod. It works really nicely, but it chews up the batteries. And even if you put it in with the positive side first and then snick it in with the lower side, the negative side, it'll still chew up the batteries.
Yep. Some mods are just like that, you know. That little Vaporizzo Target mod that I just showed you does the same thing. It'll do the same thing. But, you know, I personally...
safety is the most important, one of the single most important things out there that you can do to ensure not only your safety but the safety of everybody who's around you.
Like this little Target mod, if you look down here at the bottom, right here, that's for charging. That's to hook up for charging through the device. Personally, I don't do that. Every time I need to charge the battery in here, I take the battery out, and I use this right here. I have the LUC V6 from eFest battery charger. This is what I use to charge all my batteries. So every mod that I have that I can charge through the mod, I don't. I take all the batteries out and I charge them separately. Why? Because that way I can inspect my batteries and see if they're getting worn out, if they're getting to the point where they need to be rewrapped. It's just a personal choice. You don't have to do it every time, but I choose to. That's what works for me.
For me, what works for me is personally is that I will turn around and I will, like my banger mod that I take, my daily banger mod. That's got an internal LiPo. I put that into where is it? I have a LiPo bag.
Right.
Put it into the LiPo bag. Charge it up at night. So in the morning, it's good to go. And this sits on top of a nice big 9x9 ceramic tile. So even if this gets hot, I don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
Okay. My regular, like my VTC VT75. I will charge that in there because I know that this thing here has got a good charging circuit in there. At least once a week. At least once a week. I will take that 26650 out and I will inspect the battery. I will put it into my IntelliCharger, my Nightcore IntelliCharger that I have here.
Right.
And then charge it up that way, because that Nightcore IntelliCharger has a battery conditioning circuit in there, which will partially discharge the battery down to a safe point and then recharge it back up again. So it conditions the battery, and it also checks the battery's capacity. And if there's something that's going on with that battery that the DNA hasn't picked up yet, it will turn around and will give me a warning on it, so I can turn around 86 that battery before anything happens with it.
Right.
Okay. And I do that with all of my batteries, so that way I know that the batteries that I'm using are safe. They're still within their lifespan, and the times that I don't put them through the battery charger, I know that they're safe.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, it looks like we're coming up on an hour-long show here. Hour-long stream. We're at 59 minutes, 30 seconds. Yes, that's nice. I think it's probably a good time to go ahead and do an outro and go ahead and call an end to this stream.
Okay.
So, you want to go ahead and do your outro there?
Yeah, sounds good. My name's Joe. I am the proprietor of My Vaping Place, which is a channel here on YouTube. I do mostly hardware reviews. I've done some juice reviews, not many, only on those juices that I absolutely find are worthy of my time and my effort. I have done some DIY shows in the past. I think I need to be doing a little more on the DIY stuff in the near future. But that's in the future. I also have a presence on Facebook. If you go into Facebook and type in My Vaping Place in there, you will find my blog channel. I'm also on Twitter at My Vaping Place, and I'm also in Instagram. I don't do a lot in Instagram, but I do have a presence there. I think I should do a little bit more there, but there's not enough hours in the day. And of course, because I have the YouTube channel, I have Google Plus as well.
All right. Well.
Is that everything? I'm sorry.
I knew there was more.
Yeah. And as I said before, if anybody has questions that they want to ask, all they have to do is they can send me an email to my email account, which is myvapingplace@gmail.com, or they can direct message me through my channel using either the comments section under one of my videos if the question happens to be about one of my videos, or they can go to the About tab on my channel, and once they click on that, they will find a way there to direct message me through YouTube. And sir, I turn over the channel to you.
Oh, thank you. You turn my channel over to me.
Of course.
Actually,
yeah, I know. I know. So are you.
See, you're still talking. Anyway, as you guys know, I'm Tattooed Bert. I'm here on YouTube. Well, that's kind of obvious because, well, you're watching my live stream on my channel. So congratulations, you have found it. Again, if you like what you see and wish to subscribe and have not done so, please feel free to do so. Click that little bell icon if you haven't done so as well. That way you get a notification anytime I go live or anytime I put up a review. You can actually find me on Facebook under Tattooed Bert Reviews as well as Twitter at tattooedbert if you wish. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me on Facebook and message me on Facebook, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can or divert you to a source that will be better suited to answer your questions. If you like to support my channel here, I do have a link in the description for a PayPal link, PayPal.me link, or a Patreon link if you would like to support the channel. You do have those two options, but no, you never have to if you don't wish to. I just want to say thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for spending the time with me here and just listening to the ramblings of a bearded old fool and, well, a regular old fool with no beard. I knew I'd get a rise out of him. But again, guys, thank you all for
trying
coming.
to be nice to keep from talking here.
Yeah, you failed. Anyway,
I know.
Again, you failed. Anyway, thank you guys for coming out. Well, I guess that concludes this show. So make sure you come out next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern if you want to catch the next live show. And basically, just come in, hang out, chill, and talk about whatever's on your mind. As the description says, come over, pull up a chair, have a vape, and let's chat. So, guys, thanks for coming out. Have an awesome day. And
Take care, everybody.
And thanks, Joe, for once again being a part of the show.
Hey, no problem, brother. My pleasure. Take care, everyone.
Bye,
God
guys.
bless.